want to share some things with you today that I've been thinking about lately. I got to thinking about how, for a lot of people, it's really hard to make a decision and stick with it. It's hard to stay motivated. And a lot of people wonder why, when they decide to do something, they decide to make a change in a habit or some kind of a behavior, why it's just really hard to stick to it. And then when they try and they fail and get frustrated, it just makes it harder for the next time. And I know this happens with so many things. It's different for every one of us. Sometimes it has to do with our diet. Some people try to make decisions about their fitness or just taking care of themselves, whether it's trying to walk every day. It's difficult to make a habit to do things like that. But it's not just fitness and diet, but it could be something like your emotional health. Some people have a hard time with their anger and controlling their anger in certain situations. Or some people have problems controlling their spending or their use of time. It's like spending is one thing, because money is money. You can always get a little bit more money, but when you're wasting your time, that's even more important than money, because you've got 24 hours every day and so much time for your life. And your time is so valuable. You don't want to be wasting it. So whatever your habit is that you want to make a difference, you want to change something, but it's been hard to make that decision and to stick with it. I found a way that really works to make a decision and be motivated to carry that decision out for a long period of time. And I want to share that with you because it's really made a difference in my life. The problem is, a lot of times we'll make a decision to change something, and I'm going to do this or I'm not going to do that. And we can see the benefit in the short term, like this week or the next month, that we'll see something good happen from that. And that short-term benefit, it's a good thing and we want to do it. But the problem is that when the temptation comes to break that habit and go against our decision, it's more tempting, and that temptation looks better than the benefit that we're seeing from keeping the habit. So what happens is that we give into the temptation, and then after that, we kick ourselves for losing the habit, and we start over with another cycle of making a decision, willpower, I can do it this time. We've got all of our positive affirmations and everything, and it just doesn't work. And every time we repeat that cycle, it gets harder because we start convincing ourselves that, oh, I just don't have enough willpower. When you think about it, though, what is willpower? Your will in itself really doesn't have that much power, and temptation can a lot of times have more power to do that thing that you don't really want to do. It's just a principle of life. So what I've found is kind of backwards from that. Instead of me wanting to do this thing because I will like the result, I look at it the other way around. And I look at it over a longer period of time. Think of it this way. If I don't change this behavior, what risk do I have long term for the rest of my life? How is my life going to be in 5 years, 10 years, if I don't change this habit now and conquer it? Now, changing a habit doesn't mean that you are completely not doing it anymore. You're going to have your moments when you give in a little bit, but this is also key to working this concept that when you do give in a little bit, you didn't fail. Pick yourself back up, get back into that habit and keep going. Don't count it as a failure and don't count it as ruining everything. Because that's what I used to do, that I'd try to do something perfectly. And if it couldn't be perfect, then I just had to start all over again. Okay, but it's not like that. We are in this for the long term. And when you start considering what your life will be like if you don't get this habit, what are the risks you're going to take? Now, maybe to help this make a little bit more sense, let me give you an example of just how this really started working in my life, at least in one instance. I have had this problem with sweets and sugar and stuff like that. And knowing that sugar is not a healthy thing for my body, knowing that it's something I don't need to be eating large amounts of, I had almost an addiction to sugar where I would just eat and not stop. And give me a box of chocolates and a day or two and it's gone. Like I didn't just have a sweet tooth, I had a whole mouthful of sweet teeth, and it was getting to be kind of a problem. Now, the problem for me actually was that I didn't see a problem because I wasn't gaining weight from it. I wasn't feeling stuff from the sugar, and I didn't have enough reason from the way I felt to stop doing what I was doing. It wasn't enough of a motivation for me to quit. I had to find something stronger than that to make me quit. So I just went on with that until I started researching something else. I started looking into ways that I could prevent or avoid memory disorder, dementia, Alzheimer's, things like that. Because I kept reading about how these things can really affect your life, they can affect your family and your future, they can cut short the enjoyable part of your life and living fully. And so I really started looking into that, especially thinking of things that I want to share with people about how to live a full life. So this was important to me. And I found one thing and another thing, and yes, I'm doing that, I can do this. And I started implementing these things into my life. And then I started reading another thing about sugar. I thought, oh, that has something to do with memory disorder too. And sugar is very inflammatory. Also, it causes problems with your blood circulation and the veins that carry the blood to the brain. Also, the sugar in the brain causes certain problems. And I can't give you all the technical details about it right now, but I know what I read and I can find it again if I ever doubt it. And I know that this is something important that for the rest of my life could make a big difference if I don't get a hold of that and stop. So I had enough reason in that to make me want to stop, that every time I felt myself losing control and wanting to just eat another piece of cake and this, that, and go back into that again, I had something that helped me to control the habit. Now, it's so important to me because I could see the difference between the short term, oh, I know I shouldn't do it, and the long term, I really don't want the effect that it's going to cause in my life. This is the key. If you can just get a hold of that, it'll change everything for you. If you've got some kind of a habit, some kind of a thing that may not seem too important, but it might actually be more important than you think, of something in your lifestyle that can change, or something that has a risk attached to it for the rest of your life. There are a lot of things that affect your circulatory system, for example, that can cause strokes. There are other things that can cause cancer, just so many things. And this, I know this sounds so negative, that, oh, all these things that can be bad for us. But think of it this way, it's not negative, it's positive. Because the positive takeaway with this is when you think about the rest of your life, you think, my life can be good. I can avoid some of these problems. And some people will say, oh, no, you can't do anything about that. But they're not really looking into it and seeing that, yes, you can. You can avoid things that can cause you serious problems in the rest of your life. Live a full life and enjoy your life. So I hope this concept is something that is being helpful to you. You can research, you can dig in a little bit, and whatever that thing is that you want to stop doing, find out why. Give yourself a reason that convinces you 100% that you really need to get a hold of this. Also, when you start to change these habits, be merciful with yourself. Because you're not going to be perfect on this. You're not going to be 100% sticking to it. But instead of just giving up and binging on something or whatever it is that causes you the problem, don't give up on it. Say, well, I slipped a little bit, but that doesn't matter because I have a goal and I'm going to have a good life. And go back into it with an attitude of, yes, you can do this. You have control over this thing because you're motivated. Your motivation goes deeper than just a good feeling. It goes deeper than just your willpower and yes, I can do this. And I know that you can. I know this is going to make a big difference in your life. Dig in there, find out your reasons. Be convinced for these good habits because I know that our lives are worth living. Life is good and it can get better. Life is worthwhile and it's valuable. So let's dig in and do everything that we can to make the rest of our lives good, make it better, make it worth living. Because really, you know that it's never too late to make a change. It's never too late to form another good habit. It's never too late to encourage somebody else to form a habit. And it's never too late to thrive because life is good. Thanks for watching.